member, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
On the program, quarantine officials are monitoring over 70 Filipinos who recently returned from areas with reported cases of the Omicron variant. As the health department says, there's no confirmed case of the variant in the country just yet. The government further expands the coverage of COVID-19 booster shots to all adult Filipinos fully vaccinated for at least 6 months now. And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Netizens share their excitement as the last month of the year gets underway. Officials are closely monitoring people who have recently returned to the country. That's amid the threat of the new COVID-19 variant of concern, Omicron. The government imposed travel restrictions on South Africa and 6 other nations beginning November 26th. The Bureau of Quarantine says 75 people arrived in the country before the ban took effect. They are under monitoring for possible symptoms of the virus.
Nung binaba po ng IATF yung resolution para po sa Omicron virus natin, inutusan po ang BOQ kasama po ang DILG na i-trace yung mga nakauwi within 7 days po doon sa mga countries na affected ng Omicron. So based po doon sa pag-verify namin, sa pag-trace po namin, may 64 po tayo na 64 na presently nasa quarantine po, nagka-quarantine, and may 11 po tayo na nakauwi na sa LGU.
Among those under monitoring is an overseas Filipino worker in quarantine in Bacolod City. The BOQ says he has no symptoms so far, but he will be swabbed tomorrow to check for infection. Meantime, the country has not yet detected Omicron, according to health spokesperson Maria Rosario Vergere. She says they're still processing the next batch of samples for genome sequencing. The discovery of Omicron has rattled international travel once again, prompting dozens of countries to impose restrictions. Amid the uncertainties, the Philippines temporarily suspended its plan to welcome foreign tourists. Our senior correspondent, David Santos, reports.
The country has to continue to keep its doors shut to foreign tourists, at least for now. This despite earlier announcements that the country is ready to welcome back fully vaccinated tourists starting December 1. Now, these tourists should have come from non-visa required as well as green list countries and territories like China, Japan, and Saudi Arabia. But as many parts of the globe are closing borders in response to the Omicron variant, Filipino experts say it would be best to suspend the reopening of our tourism industry to foreign travelers. In the weekly media forum Kapihan sa Manila Bay, Tourism Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat points out that the delay will just be temporary.
Kaya temporarily, we didn't want to say close siya hanggang December 15. We didn't want to say that. Kasi malay natin, if okay naman, we could announce December 8, magbubukas na tayo. So, we have to see muna how it goes.
The Tourism Department, however, is optimistic the global concern over Omicron will not affect travel plans of our kababayans. In December 2019, over 109,000 balikbayans came home for the holidays. That went down to only about 20,000 in the same period last year, a sharp decline, largely attributed to travel restrictions amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The DOT is hoping the widespread vaccination and reduced quarantine period for inbound travelers would encourage more kababayans to be home for Christmas. David Santos, CNN Philippines.
Overseas, Israel is optimistic current vaccines will work against a new variant. Studies are ongoing to find out its possible effects on vaccine efficacy, but some manufacturers have also begun developing Omicron-specific shots.
Soon mula in the coming days, we will have more accurate information about the efficacy of the vaccine against Omicron. But there is already room for optimism. And there are initial indications that those who are vaccinated with a vaccine still valid or with a booster will also be protected from the variant.
Israel has so far recorded 4 Omicron infections, one of them a doctor who traveled to London. He had negative PCR tests before leaving and upon arrival in Israel, but he infected a fellow doctor upon returning to work. This is the country's first confirmed case of community spread. Japan identifies its second case of the Omicron variant, a man in his 20s who arrived in Tokyo from Peru on Saturday. Peru, though, has yet to officially report a case of the new variant. The man is under quarantine. And South Korea puts its reopening plans on hold amid fears of the new variant. The country logged over 5,000 infections on Tuesday, its highest daily spike yet. Officials are checking at least 2 suspected Omicron cases and will form a task force to respond to the variant. The government is looking at extending the vaccination campaign until the end of the week. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez says the target is not limited to 9 million and everyone who wants to get inoculated should be able to do so. Galvez adds local governments are free to expand the campaign. Health Secretary Francisco Duque says the government may not reach the 9 million mark within 3 days. For the past 2 days, more than 5 million people got their COVID shots, the biggest since vaccinations began in March.
So when we're able to give the battle rhythm to our LGUs, pwede na lang ituloy-tuloy yun, even without asking us na magkaroon ng extension. But we will announce na we will extend yung ating vaccination program until Friday.
Officials say vaccine hesitancy remains a problem in some regions. While many in Calabarzon are also hesitant to get their COVID shots, officials are confident they were able to hit the 3-day target. And as Chrissy de Matulac reports, the vaccination drive carries on.
Nieves Piñol contracted COVID-19 last September. She also suffers from high blood pressure. She's relieved that she finally received her vaccine against the virus.
Hinaka po kasi ako. Naka-schedule na dapat ako nung nakaraan. Pinauwi ako dahil sinabi kong mahiha po ako.
Piñol is one of many who participated in the 3-day national vaccine drive in Santa Rosa, Laguna. In areas outside Metro Manila, people flock to vaccination sites, hoping for protection against the disease, especially with the Christmas season just around the corner.
Medyo may takot noong una. Kasi nga doon sa social media na mga lumalabas na baka lalong lumala yung kondisyon.
If they are vaccinated, you are almost relaxed. They can go anywhere.
In Santa Rosa, a multi-purpose gym served as one of the main vaccination sites for the first and second doses of the general and pediatric population. The city also vaccinated people from other areas.
Maraming dumating po sa panawagan namin dito sa National Vaccination Days. So last November 29, yung first day po natin, lahat ng ating vaccination sites ay open. So gather po kami, usually first doses po yan, almost 15,000 jobs. Okay? Yung second day po, kahapon naka 10,000 kami. So expect din namin ngayon na talagang ganun din yung magiging turnout or more. So mga 10,000.
According to the Health Department, the 3-day national event had a positive turnout. They are confident they have achieved their 1 million target in the Calabarzon region.
Systematic siya. So yung mga tao tahimik na naghihintay for their turn para mabakunahan sila.
Vaccine hesitancy remains a challenge in the country's vaccination efforts, but authorities have also cited logistical issues. City health officials here say they will not stop with the national vaccination drive. Even when the 3-day event is over, they will continue to administer shots to the unvaccinated. The government also plans to mount another wave of vaccinations soon. In Santa Rosa, Laguna, Chrissy de Matulac, CNN Philippines.
All Filipino adults who completed their COVID shots or primary shots at least 6 months ago may now get booster doses this month. Presidential Advisor for COVID Response Vince Dizon confirmed this to CNN Philippines. The Food and Drug Administration also said booster doses will be available to the adult general population since the emergency use authorization applications have been approved on Monday. It adds the approved vaccine brands are the same brand combinations recommended for healthcare workers, senior citizens, and immunocompromised individuals.
DOH is just finalizing the guidelines. But we have already decided, because we already have enough supply, both already in country and forthcoming in the coming weeks and months, that boosters for everyone will be open if you are already 6 months and beyond, especially given the threat of Omicron looming over the entire world.
Health Undersecretary Mirna Cabotaje said in a government briefing that guidelines will be out in the next couple of days. The FDA, meanwhile, has yet to process any application for the emergency use of vaccines for children. FDA Chief Eric Domingo says Pfizer already signified its intention to file an application for those 5 to 11 years old, but it has yet to submit the requirements. Sinovac, on the other hand, initially applied for the use of its vaccine for 3 to 17 years old, but was later asked to submit additional supporting information on the safety and efficacy of the vaccine for children. Domingo says experts are extra cautious in approving COVID vaccines for children as they might need a different dose.
Siyempre, pag 5 to 11, unang-una yung experts natin medyo mas mabusisi sila, no? Kasi maliliit na yung bata, no? Yung 11-year-old pababa. Pagkatapos, may possibility rin kasi na iba na rin yung dosage, no? Unlike adolescents 12 to 17 who are mostly adult size na rin naman. So yung 5 to 11, we just have to make sure din kung ano yung dosage na gagamitin. Kaya medyo mas maingat lang tayo ng kaunti.
The FDA hopes applications for emergency use of vaccines for children will be submitted within the month as the government aims to begin inoculation of children aged 11 and below by early next year. Up ahead, Senator Bongo yet to formally withdraw his presidential bid after saying he's backing out from the race. And the Miss World pageant is only a few weeks away. Find out where you can watch Coronation Night. Stay tuned.
O, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa bawat pahid ay ginhawa.
SIS ang identification system ng bawat Pilipino.
Meron lamang pong 3 steps para makapagrehistro at makakuha ng PhilID. Para sa Step 1 registration, pumunta lang sa register.philsys.gov.ph para makapag-register sa PhilSys online.
Sa pamamagitan ng ID natin, ang bawat Pilipino ay meron ng valid proof of identity.
At mas mapapadali na ang ating mga public and private transactions. Kaya ano pang hinihintay nyo?
Ayaan na sina nanay, tatay at ang buong pamilya. At mag-register na.
Ito ang PhilSys, ID natin to.
Sa pagbangon ng mga Pilipino, saludo ako sa mga taong patuloy na humaharap sa hamon ng pagbabago.
Bilang isang ina, handa akong gawin ang lahat para sa kaligtasan ng aking mga anak.
Pandemya man, tuloy pa rin ang serbisyo para malinis ang kapaligiran. Serbisyong publiko para sa kaligtasan ng lahat.
Sa panahon ng krisis, ikaw, ako, magtulungan tayo. Saludo ako sa Pilipino.
Beer call muna tayo. Beer call muna tayo. Kahit kailan, walang iwanan. Beer call muna tayo. Beer call muna tayo.
Welcome back to CNN Philippines. Senator Bongo has yet to formally withdraw his candidacy for president, but he says his decision is final. He'll back out of the race to Malacanang. Our Amor Santos joins us live for the details. Amor, go ahead.
That's right, my Senator Bongo. There's no date yet on when he will officially withdraw his presidential bid. He says there's no need to rush and he wants to do it without fanfare. He appeals to his supporters and to the media not to stake out at the COMELEC. He says he's having mixed emotions now. He has peace of mind, but at the same time feels bad for his supporters. The lawmaker says he's out of the presidential race and he's not changing his mind. On who will be President Duterte's anointed successor, Go says the chief executive will choose whoever can continue his programs.
As a matter of principle po, alam mo, kung ano na po yung sinabi ko kahapon, yun na po yung nasa sa loobin ko. At bagamat napakabigat na desisyon, ay kailangan ko talagang magsakripisyo po muna. Ayaw kong pangunahan si Pangulong Duterte. At kung tinanggal niyo na po ako dyan sa listahan, 5 po yan. So hayaan na lang po natin ang ating Pangulo kung sino yung napupusuan niya.
Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi, president of the PDP Laban faction where Go and Duterte belong, says party members will be consulted about their next move. Cusi says PDP Laban respects Go's decision and the party now needs to move forward. In a message to party members, their Secretary General Melvin Matibag says PDP Laban will overcome challenges of the political climate and emerge victorious in the 2022 elections. Go earlier substituted the standard bearer of PDDS, an allied party of PDP Laban. Party President Greco Belhica says the group is also discussing plans moving forward. Back to you.
Amor, is it possible for President Duterte to choose Senator Pacquiao, who's from another faction in PDP Laban?
Well, Mai, that would unify the ruling party, and Senator Bongo is not ruling out that possibility. He only said that the President Duterte has the final say. The Cusi faction in PDP Laban will make its endorsement, and President Duterte, as their chairman, will most likely adopt it. Cusi and other PDP Laban officials still have no response regarding this. Mai?
Thank you, Amor Santos there reporting. With Senator Bongo withdrawing from the presidential race, will President Duterte's endorsement of another aspirant translate to votes come May 2022? Our correspondent Stanley Gahete takes a look at possible scenarios.
37-year-old Rona Rodriguez benefits from a chain of government, medical and financial services called Malasakit Center in relation to health complications arising from her pregnancy.
Medyo may problema sa pagbubuntis ko eh. Siya, siyempre may mga babayaran, di ba? So, tinuro nila ako sa Malasakit Center. Wala rin akong binayaran.
The one-stop shop is a brainchild of Senator Bongo, and Rona associates it with the lawmaker's decision to quit the presidential race.
Sayang, at least marami pa rin siyang matutulungan pag naging presidente siya.
Political analyst Dennis Blanco says, while Go was instrumental in the setting up of over 150 Malasakit centers nationwide, the lawmaker cannot bank on public support for the program to bring in the votes.
The awareness of the people about Bongo only came into fruition during the 2016 national election. He was the presidential aide. I think the endorsement of the presidency to Bongo is not transferable. It's not an assurance or a guarantee that Bongo would win if he's the recipient of that endorsement.
Now that Senator Bongo is no longer in contention for presidency, who among aspirants will get President Duterte's support? And will his endorsement make a difference? Blanco sees 2 possible scenarios that may influence the president's choice.
I think the president would grant the endorsement towards Bongbong and the Lakas CMD and the Unity Party that Rosara Duterte belongs, on the premise that her daughter is there. If that's not possible, now he would probably coalesce or even provide the endorsement to the Manny Pacquiao, PDP Laban faction or the PROMD. No? Again, on the basis of their regional affiliation, of their ethno-linguistic similarities, now Mindanao and Visayan vote.
Blanco says Senator Manny Pacquiao and Mr. Duterte have no ideological differences, so it's possible he may support another bet from Mindanao. He adds, there's a little chance for the president to endorse Senator Ping Lacson or Manila Mayor Isko Moreno.
I think it's a long shot.
Lacking leads at this point, the administration may be hard-pressed to make its next move less than 6 months into the election. But Blanco says, one thing's for sure.
In a game of politics, no, it's a game of numbers, no. So if you solicit or get the endorsement of the president, that's an added value or dimension to your candidacy of winning the presidency.
Stanley Gaete, CNN Philippines.
Presidential aspirant Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and his running mate Sara Duterte Carpio woo potential voters in the province of Quezon. The son and namesake of the late dictator had failed to gain the majority of the votes there during his 2016 vice presidential run. Incumbent President Rodrigo Duterte also fell short of winning the province's support back then. Marcos promised to provide jobs to fresh graduates during his visit.
Bawat taon, nag-graduate tayo ng higit ng 1 milyon na college graduate dito sa Pilipinas. Mga 1.2 million. Lahat ng 1.2 million na yan ay hahanapan natin ng trabaho.
Meanwhile, senatorial aspirant Jinggoy Estrada says he is running under the Marcos Duterte ticket. Estrada, who has a pending plunder case, is hoping to make a comeback after losing in the 2019 midterm polls. Presidential aspirant Vice President Leni Robredo is in the province of Catanduanes to attend various activities. Meanwhile, her daughter, Aika, led a lugaw feeding activity in Quezon City where she took the opportunity to address mothers and other members of the community.
Minsan sinasabi nila, di ba, na ang babae daw mahina, ang nanay daw nasa bahay lang. Pero ako po bilang anak, di ba pag may problema tayo, yung unang tinatakbuhan natin parati yung nanay. At sa tingin ko po, marami tayong problema ngayon, may COVID at napakarami pang iba. Tingin ko yung may pinaka-maayos na unang tatakbuhan din natin para sa ating solusyon ay nanay din.
Presidential aspirant Manila Mayor Isko Moreno was in Nueva Ecija today where he said he would welcome the possible endorsement of President Duterte or the Makabayan Bloc. Tech company Google announces it will not accept election-related ads during the campaign period for the 2022 national polls. Google says the policy will run from February 8, 2022 until Election Day on May 9th. The move covers election advertisements purchased through Google Ads, Display, and Video 360, as well as shopping platforms that advertisers intend to place on Google and YouTube. Straight ahead, nearly outshining the holiday season, pageant season is almost upon us. Find out where you can watch the Miss World Coronation Night. And this Korean star is set to play a fan favorite on a remake of the viral series Money Heist. Details when we come back.
O, anyari sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa bawat pahid ay ginhawa.
MX3 Coffee Mix to ignite my day. Hi guys! Lagi akong focused, active, at extraordinary. Because the most important things in life deserve nothing less. MX3 Coffee Mix, my choice.
6 na taong serbisyong may tatak ng tapang at malasakit. Inuuna ang ating kaligtasan, seguridad, kapayapaan, at kapakanan ng mga nangangailangan. Matatag, may paninindigan at tapat sa bayan. Ibinuhos ang lahat para sa Pilipino, para sa maliwanag na kinabukasan at tungo sa pag-angat ng bawat mamamayan. Ito ang Duterte Legacy.
napakahalaga ng savings kasi pag dumating ang pagkakataon na ikaw ay nasa kibit kalagayan, di ba, ma-hospital ka o magkasakit ka ng dito lang sa bahay, kailangan ng pera. Meron kang ipon, anytime pwede ka makapag-withdraw. Matatagpuan yung tindahan ko malapit dito sa Cebuana. Dito po ako naguhulog araw-araw. Kasi gusto ko nga po makaipon para sa aking mga anak, para sa sarili ko, sa darating na araw ng buhay ko. Kaya sinikap po talagang mag-ipon.
Ako po ay may sariling bike, may sidecar. Dadalhin ko po yun sa palengke, tapos doon po, marami na po akong suki doon na binibigay nila yung karton nila sa akin. At yun po yung mga binibenta ko. Hindi naman alam ng mga anak ko na may nakatabi akong pera. Yun po yung inunti-unti namin na ginamit pang araw-araw na pagkain namin nung talagang pandemic.
Stay in ako dito bilang isang sales clerk sa auto supply shop. Basta pag sasahod ako, dadaling ko doon sa Cebuana, iniipon ko yon. Mas maganda pag nandoon yung pera mo, hindi mo basta-basta magastos, tapos syempre nakokontrol mo siya. Hindi tulad pag hawak-hawak mo lang. Sa hirap ng buhay, kailangan mong kumayod at kailangan mag-ipon.
Siyempre kailangan mo pa rin tumayo kung paano mong pagkakasyahin, kung ano yung nandiyan. Pero hindi naman mahirap kasi meron ka nakatabi.
Tandaan ako, gusto ko makapag-ipon ng pera para sa darating na araw ng buhay ko at para sa aking mga anak. Talagang dapat magsikap. Magsikap. Hindi ka naman magsisisi kung makaipon ka eh.
This program is brought to you by
Welcome back. Perhaps the best gift before Christmas, a crown for the Philippines. We have less than a month until the Miss World Coronation Night on December 16, where Tracy Maureen Perez is set to represent the country. This year, Miss World Philippines is working with CNN Philippines and Upstream.ph to bring the global event to your screens. The pageant organization says Tracy has good chances of taking the title.
Pageant bloggers, local and international, saying that she has a big chance. Philippines is always in top of the mind of in different pageants, especially now that I think we got most of the crown this year, and I'm very positive that she can make it because she has a total package.
I think it's something to watch out for, especially yung mga Filipinos no, na nag-anticipate yung mga mahilig sa mga beauty pageant. Diba? So we want to be able to bring it to them live.
Find out more about Tracy's journey in the Winning the Crown special and catch the Miss World Coronation Night airing December 17th, only here on CNN Philippines. From one Netflix hit series to another, Squid Game's Park Hae-soo is stepping into the role of Berlin in the Korean version of Money Heist. The star talked about being a fan of the Spanish original and said he looks forward to their remake's 2022 release. Park also received a special gift from Berlin actor Pedro Alonso, the iconic Salvador Dali mask from the show.
한국판 종이집에서도 저희가 이 달리 마스크만큼이나 특별한 마스크를 쓰는데요. 내년 초에 한국판 종이집의 가면이 공개되면 저도 꼭 페드로님에게 그 가면을 선물로 보내드리도록 하겠습니다.
The final episodes of the original Money Heist come out this Friday. With December finally here, it looks like netizens are ready for the start of the holiday season and the end of the year. December 1 entered Twitter trends today. One person's tweet is more of a reminder. They're letting everyone know that they're already accepting Christmas gifts or pamasko. Meanwhile, this netizen spotted a reindeer missing out on the Christmas spirit this early in the month. And another post urges people to cap the year off with a merry disposition by starting the month with a smile. Happy December to everyone, and let's make the most out of our last adventures for 2021. We have 24 days left before Christmas, and that's it for now. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Mai Rodriguez for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
sa'yo? Ba't nakasimangot ka? Alam ko na. Masakit ang katawan mo, ano? Sa sobrang trabaho? O di kaya masakit ang ulo sa sobrang stress? Break ka muna. Hinga ng malalim at imasahe ang ulo mo gamit ang Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Ako rin ganun eh. Kaya pag mataas ang tensyon sa trabaho, mag-Herbalaya break ka muna.
Herbalaya Liniment Oil. Amoy na kaaya-aya. Sa